Yellowstone Supervolcano could give less warning of an eruption than we thought. Now, a lot of people, we've given articles about various new discoveries concerning volcanology. A lot of people concerning Yellowstone keep focused on the magma, but there are other things that they should be focused on. For example, the roof of the huge magma chamber under Yellowstone Lake, for example, the caldera around Yellowstone. The lake is on the lower southeastern part of it, and the quakes can even rupture the roof of the magma chamber, causing an eruption. So it's not just the magma, it's also the seismology around there, the seismic activity. But we know that Yellowstone is one of the world's 21 some odd supervolcanoes. It's on the northwest corner of Wyoming, stretching into Montana and Idaho. Recent rumblings may be of interest to volcanologists, but for those who are fearing a super eruption, it seems as if we have little to worry about from what the geologists are telling us. But there's new research that focuses on rethinking on just how much time we would have to prepare ourselves for such an eruption. The short answer is not as long as we thought. Researchers from Arizona State University put their findings into the International Association of Volcanology and Chemistry of Earth's Interior conference in Oregon, and they analyzed the fossilized ash deposits taken from Yellowstone's Lava Creek Tuff eruption. It revealed crystals left over from the previous eruption that took place. It was a super eruption 630,000 some odd years ago. Now we've had another lava eruption 70,000 years ago and another 80 eruptions since then. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. So they analyzed the crystals of this last super eruption. The size of the crystals reflect changes in temperature of their surroundings. So measuring the different crystals in layers of rock samples tell the story of heating and pressure over the period of time. So in this case, the time between the fresh injection of hot magma from deep underground and eruption was measured in decades, suggesting the first volcanologist to discover Yellowstone was stirring might live long enough to see her blow her top. According to researcher Hannah Chamblou, telling the New York Times, it's shocking how little time is required to take a volcanic system from being quiet and sitting there to the edge of an eruption. She's talking about a super eruption, of course. Past research indicate the time between a magma recharge and supervolcano Armageddon could be as long as a few millennia to just a few centuries. Supervolcanoes are basically normal volcanoes on steroids. They're spread out over a larger underground area, and they have, of course, bigger magma chambers. Now, by the textbook, they're volcanic centers that have an eruption of magnitude 8 VEI, or Volcano Explosivity Index, and that means it can vomit up to more than 1,000 cubic kilometers or 240,000 cubic miles of hot rock and ash. By comparison, the Krakatoa eruption of 1883 was only a VEI6 event. It injected 20 cubic kilometers of material. Now, Yellowstone supervolcano eruption 640,000 years ago blew out a chunk of the crust that left a caldera 50 by 70 kilometers, that's 30 by 45 miles in size, which was quickly filled with lava. And the last eruption was 174,000 years ago, though lava was still flowing up to 70,000 years ago. So that lava was flowing 100,000 years. Right now it's relatively quiet, with no indication of any imminent repeat of another past eruption. We might have more to worry about from Italy's Campi Flegrei supervolcano. Geologists are keeping a close eye, of course, on the seismicity, but researchers are considering ways to help Yellowstone keep its cool should it start heating up again in the future. It's unlikely an eruption might be in the near future. A repeat of VEI-8 event would be a rather bad thing for all of humanity, throwing enough ash into the atmosphere to create our volcanic winter, changing climate history, and also, of course, an extreme extinction event. There's no mention the hell that would be unleashed on the US, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho areas. Now, the research is a step in that direction. They say that it's one thing to think about this slow, gradual buildup. It's another thing to think about how you mobilize 1,000 cubic kilometers of magma in a decade. This is what geologist Carrie Cooper explains, who was not involved in the research. A decade. So that's a lot of hot rock oozing under feet. And geologists are still learning how all of this magma transforms into a huge super eruption. This is by Science Alert. I'll leave links below for you for this. So it could take a decade and not hundreds of years. And the last eruption, the lava eruption that was 70,000 years ago, actually started 175,000 years ago, ending up to 70,000 years ago. So that lava eruption was undergoing for 100,000 years. I have to keep that in mind. So please leave your comments, and thank you for your support.